All right, COM 130. This is Jake Vreeken, and this is our final video, my portfolio project. I'd like to just share a quick story. When I grew up in Hawaii, we had the Hawaii Temple and the Visitor Center. And within the Visitor Center, we have a lot of Asian tourists that would visit from all around the world coming to Hawaii. And there was a special video presentation that was in one of the theater rooms that talked about God, our Heavenly Father, and who He is. Because for most of the Asian cultures and Buddhist of those, they believe in maybe a higher power or a creator, but don't necessarily have the same Christian views. And I like this video because it breaks it down into God as an artist, as a designer, the master planner of life, and how He takes the elements and has built this beautiful world for us and designed a plan of happiness with our lives. I like to relate that back to design in general, that we have a designer and there is a plan for all. And we as designers start with a plan and carry it out by elements and different parts of the structure. Getting into my portfolio here, I went with a black and monochromatic gray tones color scheme with a little bit of a texture here in the back. I did and was able to keep it simple, as I like to do. I used a sans serif font for my titles, and just for my signature, I went with an actual script font here. I wanted to use bold lines. In my design style, I like to use a lot of graphic hard lines. And here you can see on my contact and contents page, I use those lines to create some movement, all while keeping pretty strict proportions and lines. I implemented the whites and the gray tones to kind of add some variation and to have that pop of the white space. And I really wanted to keep a lot of open real estate as far as my spacing is concerned. When I get into the actual content of my portfolio, I went ahead and tried to reverse. I wanted to invert all of the colors, but I ended up just going with kind of a see-through background for my text, lined up the actual image that was constant from the masters, and went with my images as those that give kind of the color and the pop. My favorite project had to have been the first one. The magazine cover, I really enjoyed being able to use Photoshop in my previous experience and the things I learned already in this class to throw together a little bit about myself. I also enjoyed a lot the brochure, my passion for Paraguay and the Falls of Iguazu. I was able to add in the elements of text wrap, which print and copy is something I haven't really dealt a lot with in the past. So adding InDesign into my repertoire and my portfolio was really helpful this semester to understand shape maps, placeholders, placing text and images, to be able to use the borders and the boundaries. And it was really cool, honestly. Beyond Photoshop and learning non-destructive editing, that was one of my favorite things. I continue to use alignment, right alignment, to kind of keep in the bottom corner and keep my text weighted below my title, and continue to use that same spatial alignment throughout all of my information. My projects with color theory, as well as my montage here, adding in a little bit more of what I love with actual Photoshop and layering, which is one of my other favorite projects. InDesign was interesting to learn how to create logos. I actually did this for my brother-in-law, and he kind of guided me along as almost a real life client of what he wanted for his logo and his actual letterhead. Um, I know that hopefully, with all that we go through as designers, we can take this information we've learned and move forward, not only keeping I really hope it was screen sharing that whole time.